What is up, hard rock and metal fans? So, obviously, this is going to be a special video. Just some days earlier, all of us had to bid farewell to the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy. I guess we will see you on the other side, and thanks so much for all the great years of music and entertainment and just being you, because you have no idea how much you impacted so many of our lives as well. Again, guys, so what we want to do for this video is a countdown, and I've invited my dear friend Pranav to also join me again. You guys can check out the videos we did for Iron Maiden and a couple of others too. But this one is going to be special because we're going to be picking out our top 10 Aussie tracks. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Pranav to speak to all of you.
So big thank you to each and every one of you who's been showing so much support to you know the love Rohan and I have for the rock music. Big thank you to Rohan for having me on his channel, and to each and every one of you for showing so much support to it. A very sad time, of course, in rock and metal music. As one of the pioneers, Ozzy Osbourne, the man behind all those evil lyrics, the man behind all the heavy riffs, all the metal music that he paved the way for all the metal bands that came, along the way. Metallica, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses. The list can just go on and on, because if there was no Ozzy, there would be no heavy metal. It's very safe to say that. And him, of course, with all perks to Lemmy Kilmister, Zeppelin, and all of them who started their own genre in their own right. But if there was no Ozzy, there would be no evil. The Prince of Darkness, and a huge loss for the metal and rock community. Um, so here is the top 10 of the man himself, and let's just get to it. So at number 10 is Patient Number 9, the self-titled album. The song is Patient Number 9, and it's about, it was written by Andrew Watt and Ozzy Osbourne, and featured the legendary Mr. Jeff Beck, who passed away just a few months after this album was released. And it's of course a song that is based on the person who's probably in a mental institution experiencing nightmarish journey. And of course, Jeff Beck laid down, we've all known his work in the early days, and the solos that he's laid down in it was pretty good. Heavy riffs, and Ozzy, of course, never fails to disappoint. At number 9, we've got Mississippi Queen from the album Undercover. It is a very heavy hard rock song that I really liked. It has that touch of the 2000s in it, and the riffs I feel were very, very heavy. That whole album, in fact, very underrated. It has got a lot of heavy riffs that have come in, and some great engineering, of course. The next one again is from that particular time, which is at number 8. It is I Don't Wanna Stop from the album Black Rain. And the same reason why I fell in love with that, the both the albums, Undercover and Black Rain, and these two songs really stood out to me was because of the riffs and the guitar tone that really stood out to me in the album. Of course, Ozzy, as usual, giving us the reason, giving us the giving us the lyrics, and the reason why we call him the Prince of Darkness. But I feel it was some great production and engineering in those two particular albums, and these two songs really stood out. They've got some really evil riffs, and yeah. At number 7, we've got, of course, from the Diary of a Madman, we've got the song Over the Mountain, which I think the first track on their album. And of course, Randy Rhoads never failed to deliver, and an amazing track with some great guitar lines. And it was again one of those very underrated songs that you must surely listen to. At number 6 is one of my favorite tracks, and it is called Suicide Solution from the iconic Blizzard of Oz. That whole album is something else. And it is basically a song that is based on as Ozzy Osbourne had said, it's based on the death of Bon Scott, who was the vocalist for AC/DC. But Bob Daisley said later on that in 2002 he had revealed that he had Ozzy himself in mind when he wrote the lyrics, basically. So of course, we all know that song, and the impact it's had. I don't think you'll have to live under a rock if in the metal world to have not ever come across that album and this song. It's one of a classic. Moving forward is the song which I wasn't gonna put up, but when I heard it at the Back to the Beginning concert, which was Ozzy's final one, the meaning of that song became something else, because it is the most iconic one, Mama I'm Coming Home, from the album No More Tears. It's at number 5. And of course, the song is based on how he got sober, and how Sharon, his now widow and wife back then, helped him to get to that particular point in his life. The next song at number 4 is Little Dolls by Diary of a Madman. Sorry, it's Little Dolls in the album Diary of a Madman. And again, some great work of Randy Rhoads in the same. A very good song. It is again one of those very, very iconic songs in the album. It's actually quite later on in the album, but what I really liked in it is some of the solo stuff that Randy Rhoads has done. Obviously, that man was one of the reasons what saved Ozzy's career, and no amount of words can, of course, describe even his contribution to Ozzy's solo stuff. At number 3, we've got from the Blizzard of Oz album, a very, very iconic song, Mr. Crowley. One of my absolute favorites. I feel that was the best of Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne. And Ozzy's lyrics, absolutely amazing. Very, very iconic chorus line, and the guitar solo is something many of us still try to get it right. So no amount of words can do justice to how much that song is has meant to all the rock fans and metal fans. At number 2, we've got a song that has probably defined the career of Ozzy Osbourne, which is Crazy Train. Again, from the album Blizzard of Oz. That whole album is just beyond words. I mean, no amount of words can do justice, as I said earlier. And that intro riff is something that I had heard one of my bandmates play it, and shockingly I thought he made it, but I was like, okay, that's way too good for him to play it. And then he made me listen to Crazy Train for the first time, my bandmate, and I was absolutely blown away. Just that intro riff is enough to get you completely hooked, not to just that song but to probably the entire discography. Many people start listening to Ozzy because of that, and it's probably because of the lyrics, and it talks about a lot of the fast life that Ozzy was living. That album came right after his career ended with Black Sabbath, and what a way to deliver. I mean, there could be no way. So that for me is at number 2. Now at number 1 is one of the most not underrated song, I would say, of course, but a song that sometimes does not get that much due, and that song is Hellraiser from the album No More Tears. It's the first song I ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne, and I heard it in the video game, of course. If you're a 90s kid, you would know, called GTA San Andreas on Radio X, and I was absolutely blown away when I heard that for the first time. A killer solo by Zakk Wylde, and a great the song talks about the lifestyle, of course, Ozzy had at that time, which was Over the Edge, co-written by, of course, the late and great, the godfather of heavy metal, Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. I hope they're united up in the heavens, making hell with their music. And yeah, that's my top 10 for Ozzy Osbourne's solo catalog. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Dan Pranav. I think it's a great track listing that you've got. Mine, of course, is going to be a little different. There might be some similar tracks, and you might also see some of Ozzy's most popular ones. But mine maybe not be for everyone, but it is, well, these are songs which are dear to me anyway. So I'm going to kick it off with number 10, which is the title track from his second album, Diary of a Madman. I love this. I mean, especially that middle section. Oh my lord. I mean, Randy kills it. He slays in terms of his playing on this track for me. And the way it's able to go into this very deranged, diabolical setting to this very melodic and almost orchestral and almost, otherworldly feel, and then come back into a much harder sound and then go into this almost, you could say, horror track element. I just love the way this song ebbs and flows. So this comes in at number 10 for me. Number 9 for me is actually from an album that is very divisive for a lot of Aussie fans. I'm not sure why. I mean, I can see why, but I still think it's a great record. So number 9 for me is one of his more famous hits, which is Gets Me Through. I think this is a real banger. It's a song that, punches really hard. When I remember when it came out and it debuted, and we all saw it, on TV, the video. That was really something. So this is a song that I just love blasting. Gets Me Through. And number 8 is another track on the same album, Down to Earth. And this one actually follows Gets Me Through in the track listing, which is Facing Hell. I really don't know why the song doesn't get as much attention as I would hope. I certainly know that a lot of Aussie and heavy metal fans really like this track, but Facing Hell is a track that I can almost see being featured on a Blade album. Excuse me, not a Blade album, but Blade was a singer, yeah, for sure. No, but the comic book character Blade, in a movie. I certainly could see this, where he's fighting, all kinds of vampire gangs and so on, and this is playing in the background. Be really cool to actually see this featured there. So this comes in at number 8. Number 7 is, of course, a very famous track, which is See You on the Other Side. Obviously, we all know that this was Ozzy's song, one of his few songs to Sharon Osbourne, right? So See You on the Other Side has a really nice feel to it, lyrical content, as well as, the way it sort of, again, it has this sort of, mid-range point, then it goes up and goes down. So very interesting one. Number 6 is perhaps you could say one of Ozzy's most famous songs. If you put in top 5 for most people, it'll probably be there, which is No More Tears. And I think usually whenever I think of Ozzy, or when most people I meet who are fellow music and metal fans, when they talk about Ozzy, this is usually the song they always cite first. It may not be everyone's favorite, but this is usually the song that people reference, or they think of the video as well. But No More Tears is a very dynamic track, and that was something that was interesting about Ozzy's music, especially given the stellar musicians he worked with. They were able to sort of craft songs that had all kinds of dynamics built into them, so it wasn't just like a one standard fare. It was something that you could really see how it sort of took you on this journey. So No More Tears is another one. That's a great bass line, by the way. I just have to call that out. Number 5 is probably from a more divisive album. Again, this album I would say is one of my top 3. You guys have seen the video. I checked out about top 3 Ozzy albums, and this song comes from there, which is the album Black Rain, and the song is Countdown's Begun. Just that starting bit, when Zach is playing that part, I mean, wow. I mean, it just makes you feel like there's some ominous setting. There's this big battle that's about to take off. It's almost like, one of those awesome, medieval times. You could just sort of imagine that, as this song is, starting to play and these dark clouds are forming and so on. So Countdown's Become comes in at number 5. Number 4 is a track that is very catchy. A lot of people like it. A lot of people may not want to admit it, but it's a song that just grabs you on the get-go, which is Perry Mason of the Osmosis album. Um, really love this track. I actually heard this for the first time during a live show when a tribute band was playing many years ago, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, whose song is this?" And then I was pleasantly surprised to find out it was Ozzy's, and I was like, "Okay, great, I better check this out." So checked out the Osmosis album, liked it a lot as well. So Perry Mason comes in at number four. Number three is a very personal track for me, and I think I can really relate to it. The lyrics resonate with me, which is off Ozzy's first album, Blizzard of Oz. And for me, the song is Goodbye to Romance. I think there's just so much about it. It's where Ozzy's always obviously reflecting on his time with Sabbath and about what exactly has happened and how exactly his life has been and how he's looking forward to the future and what exactly he's probably going to expect. But just a chance to let go, to sort of I say no hard feelings. And I think the line where he says the chorus, I guess that we'll meet in the end. It's so ironic because that's exactly what happened with Sabbath. They reunited, they played the show back to the beginning, and just a couple of weeks later, Ozzy was gone. But it was almost like, coming full circle, having that sense of closure. So this song has an even deeper meaning for me now, aside from Ozzy's life, in my own life. So I can relate to that. Number two is a song that, okay, is a guilty pleasure. I know some guys might be rolling their eyes at this one, but hey, it's a song I really love a lot. Number two is Mama, I'm Coming Home. Powerful ballad, obviously another song again about Sharon Osbourne. I think Lemmy from Motorhead, had obviously written a lot of the lyrics, so he co-wrote this with Ozzy, but it's, if I'm not wrong, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, and the thing is that it's a song that, really takes you on this big high, because it's so powerful vocally and even the melodies and so on. So I think it's something that a lot of people who are new listeners to Ozzy would really enjoy. Coming in at number one for me is again off a Divisive album, but if you ask me what is my number one Ozzy track, which obviously this one is, and it has been that way for a long time. In fact, when I was putting this list together, I asked myself, is it really number one for me? Could it be something else? Now, a lot of people might be thinking Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train, Over the Mountain, The Ultimate Sin. I would have, or maybe even as many people know, I love Ordinary Man, but no, it's none of those tracks. I love those tracks too, but in my top 10, my number one Ozzy song will always be I Don't Want to Stop of Black Rain. There's just something so killer about this track. It really gets, your blood pumping, and it really is, an arena song. I could imagine, I unfortunately never saw Ozzy live, but I could just imagine with him playing this song in years prior, how it would have gotten the crowd so excited. And I think Zach does an awesome job out here. So does the rest of the band. But this is my number one track. And that's it, guys. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? It's just our list, just our opinion. Nothing to offend anyone. Why not let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below? Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for all the support as always. And we will catch you soon, Pranav and me. Till then, guys, take care and rock on.